Well, today is a beautiful day in downtown Oakland. That's where I'm at. I live in Oakland, California, but right now I'm downtown and I wanted to make a video on my book, Why the White Man Rules. And the reason why I wanted to do that today, there's some issues going down in the world I want to talk about concerning the white man. And in my book, Why the White Man Rules, I talk about the white man being God's chosen people, Israel, and that Israel is the one that God has given rulership of this world to. And the promises of God to Israel that we find in the Old Testament all pertain to him in this world. And that's the reality we live in, that everything we experience in this world today is based on the promises of God to Israel. That's what the world consists of today. And that's reality people don't understand and fight against and have an issue with, not knowing that the God they claim they love is the one they're fighting with every day. It's like what James said in the New Testament, with the same mouth comes, with the same tongue comes blessing and cursing. And this ought not to be so. But that's what the world and everyone in it does when it comes to God and his word. But today I want to talk about the name of Israel. The name that God gave Jacob in the book of Genesis. He changed his name to Israel. And Jacob was the son of Isaac, the son of Abraham. And God changed his name to Israel. And he had all the promises of God to his people passed down to him. And even the name of Israel was the name that was attached to all the promises of God to his people. And that name is very important, because wherever that name is, that's where the promises of God go and where he will fulfill them. So the name of Israel becomes very important, because wherever the name is, that's where you're going to find the promises of God, called the birthright and the covenant. I cover all this in my book, Why the White Man Rules. I give you a thorough teaching on the principles surrounding these promises God gave his people, to give you a clear understanding of what you're looking at as you steer out into the world and see which people actually are the possessors of these promises and are the ones who are God's chosen people. Now, the name of Israel was passed on when Israel died to the sons of Joseph, Ephraim and Manasseh, which were promised by God to become a great nation and a multitude of nations, commonwealth of nations. Your two sons will become a great nation and a commonwealth of nations, Ephraim and Manasseh. And let my name be named on them, Israel. So when Israel died, he passed on the name of Israel to the sons of Joseph. And where the name of Israel went, the promise of God went. So wherever these two sons' descendants go, the name of Israel goes, and that is Israel, because they got the name of Israel. So wherever they're at, that's where Israel is. So, the reason why I bring all this up, because in my book I say that, well, if they're Israel, that's who is called Israel. That's the name. That's who possesses the name. But if you know anything about God's word, that God in the Old Testament has split up his people into two nations. It became two nations in the land of Israel when it came out of Egypt and went to the promised land. Eventually, God divided them up into two nations. And one was called the house of Israel, the nation of Israel, and the nation of Judah, the house of Judah. Those were two kingdoms in the land in the Old Testament. God has split his people into two nations. And 10 of the tribes went to the house of Israel, and 3 of the tribes went to the house of Judah. And the reason why the house of Israel was called the house of Israel was because the sons of Joseph were in the 10-tribe kingdom of the house of Israel. That's why they were called Israel, because the sons of Joseph were amongst the 10 tribes of that nation, of the house of Israel. So wherever they go, the promises of God go. And the name of Israel goes. Why am I bringing all this up? Why am I making such a big deal about this name of Israel? And who has it and who doesn't have it? Because God split the nation in two. People in two nations. And don't you know that to this day, today, that they remain two nations today, separate. The house of Israel and the house of Judah.